Oh, there we go. Perfect.
How's it going, Mark?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. I'm
All
so
right.
excited to talk to you. And sincerely, man, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this Act Three in its entirety.
No problem. Hold on. Let me make
Before
sure I can reach my water here.
before we go into the present, I wanted to fire up the DeLorean and go back in time, go back to 1989 and making this record. I'm kind of curious, man, especially back in the day. Records are made so differently nowadays. Here or there, little bits and pieces. Done over Zoom, done online, done at home. Take me back to making Act Three. Were you guys, when you guys went into the studio with Max Norman, were you guys all prepared? Was half the material done? Did you write like?
We were more prepared than we'd ever been for any record up to that point. Ever, ever, ever. Because it was our first major label debut. We got picked up from released by Geffen. So we got picked up from Enigma
Mhm.
that released the first two records. And because Geffen basically gave us a much larger budget, it enabled us to work with larger name producers. And one of the people that was interested was Max Norman. When we heard that, we all lost our minds because he produced two of our favorite records of all time, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman.
Yeah,
So
of
we
course.
basically we were sold from the moment his name was even brought up. So then we started working with Max and the label, and we overwrote for that record for Act Three. We wrote about 30 songs, and we kept demoing stuff, and sending it to Geffen, and we were just kind of and we cherry picked what we thought were the strongest songs that would make a nice varied record that had bite to it and substance to it from beginning to end. And we narrowed it down to what we did, and just started doing pre-production, which we'd never done before, really. And with Max Norman. So we came up probably about a week prior to us recording with him and just worked us every day and had us changing bits and started suggesting BPMs and things like that we'd never even heard of, really, you know. And it was great. So, and by the time we got down to actually in the studio with Max, the recording studio for the record, we did it in I believe it was Reseda in Southern California, a place that no longer exists. It was called Dodge City Sound.
Okay.
The building's still there, but the studio doesn't exist. And yeah, we worked with Max. And so I give you an example, like Ultraviolence was recorded in 3 days, mixed in five. Frolic to the Park was recorded and mixed, I believe, in 2 weeks. Where Act Three, I believe we were in the studio with Max for I'm guessing 4 to 5 weeks, just tracking,
Mhm.
and he just worked us and brought out the best in all of us at the time. And it was it was a hard record to make. I'm not gonna lie. He worked us, but at the same time, I think the results he got were incredible. And I guess it stands some sort of test of time because here we are gonna 35 years later, we're going to do it in its entirety for the first time. Some of these songs have been played live in 35 years, and the response seems pretty great. So we're excited to get out there and do it.
Yeah, man, you touched on the Max Norman parts I was going to bring up, obviously
Yeah.
producing Ozzy and getting all the dirt on that and trying to get through work done. And then everything that he brought to the table as far as, try this, try that, try this kind of deal. But, in going back and digging through this album and you having to do your homework, because I'm sure you don't listen to the album every day so
Far
I'm kind of,
from no.
yeah, exactly. I'm curious, was there anything on there where you were like, oh, that was pretty good, or anything where you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Well, no, you know what because it's just because I've been I've been singing for what 40 something years now, and I'm constantly learning. I'm still learning, and I always have. So when I actually listen back to the record, I'm proud of what we did. But I could hear, to me, I hear a young me still trying to find his voice and still learning how to sing at a much more elementary level than say today. My
Right.
and what my techniques now. Although I'm still learning, but I'm just saying I could hear the struggles because it takes me back to that time. I picture myself in the isolation booth trying things and just not really understanding the terms Max was using and stuff, just because, I didn't play an instrument and I didn't, I was just a guy who just went for it, and so that's what I'd say. But I can't look back and be too hard on myself because I was what, 19, 20.
Right,
So,
right. And
and it'd be one thing if I gave it my all and after that decided, I never want to do this again. But, here I am and I'm still doing it. So,
I love
yeah.
it. Can't thank you enough for doing this. Honestly, man, it's
Oh,
my
thank
favorite
you.
album. It's the album that got me through high school, turning freshman year of high school, and getting that album and just powering me through it. And I'm hoping that when we see you in LA at the Belasco Theater on December 17th, we playing it in order, in sequence, right? Like it is.
Absolutely. And that'll be the first time we've ever done that for sure. Because even we did the whole record, I believe, on the Act 3 tour, but it was just spliced in with stuff from Ultraviolence and Prog. This time we're definitely doing it from top to bottom. And then after that, we'll leave stage for a bit, come right back out, and then just do a set of some songs, some more just Death Angel songs throughout the years. But I love hearing you say that because I know a lot of people I've talked to, that album definitely takes them back to a certain time, and it brings uh and it just brings us something special out in a lot of people I know, and a lot of people have mentioned it got them through tough times at that time. So it's just whenever I hear that, it means a lot to me, and I know it does to Rob as well, and I'm sure to the ex Death Angel members that played on that record that hear it. I'm sure it means the world to them as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially at that time, I was playing drums in a band, and dude, it was killing me every day trying to learn discontinued it. But I'm sure Will's gonna have a hell of a time playing that one live.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, that's a thing. So to to Will's credit and Rob's credit, those guys have been in this rehearsal studio for months. They have been woodshedding in that rehearsal studio for months, working on it and working hard. And Will's sounding great. He's playing better than ever. And it's just because we knew going out with this record, we have to deliver it how people feel it. You know what I mean? They know, the ones who love that record know it inside and out. And you can't change too much about it because then you're just kind of like, but Will has been working his ass off, and Rob's been in there every day that Will's there, working with him. And Ted's been there a lot. Damien lives in Mexico, outside of Mexico City, but he's such a hard worker anyway. He'll get up here and he'll knock it out. I believe he gets up this tomorrow, I believe. And then truth be told, for me, I just joined in the last couple weeks. I come in very singer like, but
Right?
hey, they had woodshedding to do and to get it down tight. And a lot of times when you're just starting it down, breaking down things for the singer, it gets a little,
Monotonous.
not yeah, and you're trying to save your voice. So you're starting, it's one thing to sing for 2.5 hours doing something, but then you're stopping and starting. That could 2.5 hours could turn into 3.5 hours, and
Right.
you're doing that. There's wear and tear. So I get in there once they have it down. We go out and we do go through the set. We work on the little things we have to, but they've pretty much, we're just doing fine tuning at this point. But Will's playing great, and it's funny you mentioned that beat. That's the one that everyone's worked on the longest. That song,
Yeah.
you know, for sure. That's a crazy beat, and it's an awesome beat, but it's just subtle nuances, man.
Broke me, man. Again, I put down the
Broke
drums,
me, man. I love that.
put down the drumstick shortly after that, joined the high school radio station and took that career and went into radio, man.
That's awesome.
Speaking of the show and hearing all these tunes and certainly looking forward to that, hell of a lineup you put together for it. Toxic Holocaust, Lions at the Gate, Misfiring. I think Lions kind of the different one on there. Curious, do you have a history with Christian and the El Nino guys or?
Yeah, well, yeah, they've known you guys in Aru for sure. Like we've known Aru for years. He was an original Bay Area guy back in the '80s,
Right.
and then he did his time in Machine Head and whatnot. But yeah, exactly. The El Nino guys are great guys. And when we saw that they were going to be, they were available and wanted to be part of the tour, we definitely thought it's going to make a well-rounded package. And I mean, it's good to have one, especially with Act 3, because it's such a diverse record. I think it kind
Yeah.
of fits perfect. Unfortunately, I don't know if you knew Toxic Holocaust had to actually leave the bill for
Oh no.
for the tour. Yeah, he broke his hand.
Ah,
So we had last minute, and this was only maybe about a week ago or something. I'm really bad with time. Could be a week and a half. And that's short notice to get someone to jump on a tour that's, 3 weeks during right between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
So Violence jumped on Violence at the
Killer.
last minute. So Violence is doing it, and they rose to the occasion. They're doing the whole 3 week run. So we really, we're really appreciative that they could do that in such short notice. And it's going to be a great package for sure.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. And you had mentioned, the album's only 45 minutes, couple extra songs. I imagine we'll be hearing the new songs in there, Cult of the Used and Wrath, Bring the Fire.
I know. It's going to be well rounded. I know we'll definitely do one of them for sure. For
Okay.
sure, we'll definitely do one of them. I'd imagine it's going to be Cult of the Used because that's the newest of the two, and I think it lends and that song too with the vocal melody and the type of singing. I think it harkens back to more an Act Three kind of style.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll I think that will go well with it. When we come back out for sure.
Loving that tune. And imagine there's an
Awesome.
album coming in the new year.
Well, I don't know if it's coming in the new year, but we're definitely writing on it. We're in the writing stage for sure, and we're going to be demoing stuff throughout the year, and just we're definitely working on a full length, and a full length is coming. I would imagine. I don't have a release date. I don't. We don't even have a studio booked for time to actually track the record, but I would imagine it happened by the tail end of next year,
Okay.
as far as getting in the studio. I don't know about a release date. So there you go. But we're
So
writing. We're actively writing. There will be a 10th Death Angel record by hook or crook.
awesome, man. So it's not one of these things where you're sitting on an album. You're just giving us what you've actually recorded at this point.
Well, we recorded a few songs for sure, but it's just kind of also to let people keep the buzz up and let people know we're still here and we're throwing down, but and we have plans to release a full length, but we don't want people to forget about us either.
Yeah. Or just be a nostalgic act, just leaning on the catalog. Still new music.
Exactly. And I don't think that's something we've ever done. As a matter of fact, we take so much pride in our especially all the releases with this particular lineup from Relentless Retribution all the way through Humanicide. I think, those albums definitely stand up with our classic records. And a lot of the fans, some of them don't even know the early material, the original early Death Angel Mach 1 material
Right.
as good as they do the new material. The new
Yeah.
material turned them on to us. So we're fortunate in that regard that we're one of those bands that don't have to rely on our back catalog.
Totally, totally. Mark, I appreciate all the time. Last couple of things I wanted to hit you with, man.
Yeah.
Got to talk about the side project with
Oh,
with Kerry King.
yeah, yeah.
And love that album. I saw the headline tour in LA, but man, that forum show when you guys were opening for Lamb of God, dude, that show that I still get goosebumps just thinking about that show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that show was wonderful. I mean, that was a great tour. What Lamb Mastodon us, right? Yeah, that was
But you
uh
guys in particular
and
coming on
Malevolence.
stage.
Oh yeah, we were on fire. And I mean, it was a great show. I mean, I'm having so much fun with Carrie, and the guys. It's all the guys in the band are great, and we've all known each other for years, and it's such a fun band to be a part of for sure. And but that I definitely remember that Forum show. It's the first time I ever played the Forum, so I walked
Oh
in, I
wow.
got on stage, I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna bring it and blow doors, and we succeeded. And I remember the headliner after that, but it was a great show. But I was actually, and I'm never one of those guys who are like, oh, but I was sick. So I felt
Ah,
ah, man, it's one of those things. But I'd never be on stage like, hey guys, sorry, I'm sick. Crowd
right,
doesn't need to hear that. They don't know. I just give
right.
it my all no matter what. But I had a great show that night. But I still, I would take the performance wise, I'd take the Forum show over that one as well. But we give it our all every time. So just because maybe I didn't have the best show in my heart, I'm my harshest critic. I know the other guys brought it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like I never got to worry about them. All those players are such solid players and solid dudes, but it's such a great band to be a part of. And so I'm one of the few that are fortunate enough to be a part of two great bands.
Hell yeah. And I
Yeah.
imagine an album two coming from Kerry King.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's got the work ethic I mean, his work ethic it's insane. It really, and it's so I'm it's so admirable to see his output and constant creativity too. So it's definitely we're already in the writing stages for that too. We'll be demoing stuff shortly, and I would imagine we're going to probably be in the studio recording that in the first quarter of next year.
Ah, so that one will probably come out first before the Death Angel for you.
I would imagine. I would imagine. Yeah, just scheduling wise for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
looking forward to that. The only bummer about your busyness, I miss you at Metal Allegiance, man.
I know it does have me busy. It does have me busy. Yeah, 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 for sure.
I feel
And
like that's the thing that's gone away from you. You know, obviously something's got to give. You can't do music 24/7, but I've been missing you
yeah.
there the past couple years.
Yeah, I and those shows were always awesome. I always have a great time getting together with, friends from all the bands and just putting together cover tunes. And hell, they even wrote, we wrote some originals together too.
Yeah.
So it was just, it's always a fun time, especially, the NAMM Jam. But it's just I have so much on my plate right now and just don't want to spread myself too thin. And unfortunately sometimes less is more, if that makes sense. And it
Yeah.
keeps the intrigue up for, fans, and it's not oversaturating, myself as a singer or a brand, if you will.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Totally makes sense. Dude,
Yeah.
last thing I got for you, I appreciate all the time. We're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10
Yeah.
p.m. And, we're talking about, Act 3 35 years ago. If we flip the calendar to 2026, 35 years ago would be the Black Album for Metallica. Take me back. Give me your first thoughts, reactions, facial expressions the first time you heard Enter Sandman.
I love, I'm one of those people, I don't care. Some people say it. I love the Black Album. The Black Album is the biggest metal album of all time. It's not one of the biggest rock albums of all time because it deserves to be, plain and simple. And I know there are thrash purists out there that'll, rip it to shreds and all that. I'm not, and I listen to music all over the boards, but I'll tell you something special. Kirk Hammett's one of my best friends, if not my best friend,
Right.
And when they were recording the Black Album, I was living in New York at the time, and Kirk came and stayed at my apartment
Hmm.
where I was, and he played me the Black Album on cassette. This is before it was out.
Right, right.
So I'm sitting there and he's playing it for me. And I just remember we were in my living room sitting on the couch listening to it. And I could see, we were obviously much younger, but I could see he's kind of nervous. And what, I mean, I know what it's like when I'm playing someone new material and I'm kind of watching them to see their
Right,
reaction. And I could
right.
see the nervousness in his face. I could. And, but mind you, I was just soaking it all in, the production, the songwriting, the craftsmanship behind it, And I just remember thinking, and he looked, he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Bro, this is amazing. Like it's amazing." It did. It's just they they did it again, but just they went to a different level and
So
a
you
different direction. And then I went to the after that, they had a listening party, and I went with Kirk to the listening party, and the listening party, I think if I remember correctly, like it broke the Guinness Book of World Records or something because the listening party was at MS Madison Square Garden. It was awesome, and it's just kind of so my love for the Black Album will never dissipate, ever, ever.
and you got it right from the get-go. You weren't like me. You weren't like me, that thrash kid going, "What happened here?" You got it straight from minute one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you
Yeah.
have a Do you have a favorite song off that album we could play for you?
Yeah, no, it always switches probably day to day, but I'd say right now, if I had to pick one, I'd say Of Wolf and Man.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Off to the days, new days, must I run. I think it's awesome lyrically, and I just, I get it.